I'd like to welcome everybody to the February 23rd, 2017 regular meeting of the Guymon City Council. If you please rise with me, I'll ask Sally Hawkins to give our invocation.
Dear God, we just thank you as we come together today, and thank you for the weather, although maybe a little less wind would be nice. And ask that you be with our councilmen and our city employees as they come together tonight to make decisions regarding our community. And please be with our community members as we go forward, and just help us to listen to your will for our lives and for our community. Guide us and direct us in all that we do. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Valvidres, did you lead the flags?
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't have a gavel, so that's going to work tonight. Turn your mic on, Chet.
You don't say anything yet.
Are you not saying anything? Agenda item number 2 is attendance roll call.
Peterson,
Here.
Swager,
Here.
King,
Here.
Alvidres,
Here.
Crone,
Here.
Hawkins,
Here.
Petty,
Here.
Mitchell.
Here.
Agenda item number 3 is approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Make the motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second.
Swager,
Aye.
Alvidres,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 4 is discussion and possible action on ordinance number 812. An ordinance amending section 1-201 of the Guymon Code of Ordinances, establishing ward boundaries, providing for severability, and declaring an emergency.
Are we working on a new map?
Yes.
This is just to realign the wards like we do every so often.
Well, it adds the property that we annexed on Highway 54 out by Seaboard to the
Okay.
city limits.
Make a motion that we approve ordinance number 812.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
King,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Alvidres,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
I make a motion to declare emergency.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second to declare
Alvidres?
emergency.
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 5 is discussion and possible action on approval of resolution number 17-05, a resolution approving the request of the Oklahoma Department of Transportation to change the speed limit from 45 mile per hour to 35 mile per hour on regular school days on a portion of State Highway 3 / US Highway 412 in the area of Prairie School. I think this is a speed limit reduction through that whole area.
Yeah, I think this is a request made by the schools, actually.
If we're gonna do that soccer field out there, I'm wondering if we shouldn't reduce it to 35 and leave it there and not, I mean, we're talking about a very small amount of distance. And just put it down there and leave it down there, because we're gonna have a lot more traffic out there.
Well, I think we probably need to pass this so they can go forward. To do the speed limit reductions, they have a crew that comes out and does a survey.
Well, can't we say the 35 and not use 45 at all?
I don't know if we can do that. I guess we could, but I don't know that that's in their,
Well, you can't do it on this ordinance
Yeah.
that's before the council now.
yeah.
They'd take another ordinance, and I don't know, if we have to, I'd have to check and see if we have to get authorization from the Department of Transportation. They asked for this, and it is a state highway, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to lead up to, is that the DOT's the one that comes to us with their deals. You can request it, but they go through a process that takes, I think it was 2 or 3 months ago that we visited with them about doing this.
But we
Might
can
suggest-
request it later on after we
Oh,
pass
yeah.
this, right?
Or we could request it at any point.
Sure.
Is that not your
Yes,
understanding?
I think that's correct. We could make that request.
I make a motion that we approve Resolution 1705 concerning the speed limits around the school.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 6 is discussion and possible action on approval of a master agreement for professional service for airport improvements and planning projects occurring during federal fiscal years 2017 through 2021 with Garver Engineering. Mr. Mitchell.
The airport board met today and approved the contract with Garver Engineering. Garver Engineering is the current engineer for the airport, and there's a project that begins, I think, March 13th or 14th. And the vote by the board was unanimous. We went through a very lengthy RFP process. We had 8 firms that submitted proposals. The board reviewed those 8 and selected 3, and then chose Garver as the #1 firm, and Garver has successfully negotiated that 5-year agreement with us, and their rates of compensation will not change for the next year and a half. So their current rates are good through calendar year 2018.
We've used Garver for a lot of projects out there at the airport.
Yes, they've been the engineer there for several years. I don't know how long.
Okay.
Is this contract, is there anything tied into with a grant or anything, or is it just a contract with the
Well,
city? and them?
there's a companion piece, a 5-year capital improvement program that the board also approved today, and that lines out several projects over the next 5 or 6 years, but that's somewhat dependent on the money that comes out of the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission and the availability of both state and federal dollars.
Any other discussion? Do you have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve for the approval of the master agreement for professional services for airport improvements, item 6.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 7 is discussion and possible action on declaring real property containing approximately 36.7 acres in the west half of Section 22, Township 3, North, Range 15 East, also known as the Milton property, as surplus, and setting a minimum price of $45,000. Mr.
This item was tabled from the last council meeting. There is some interest in the property, and the general process required for selling any city property is for the council to declare it surplus, set them a minimum price, and then we go through a proposal process, soliciting bids, and depending on the bids we receive, then we'll bring those offers back to the council for your approval.
Okay. Any discussion? Questions? Motion?
Make a motion that we approve real property containing approximately 36.7 acres in the west half of Section 22, Township 3 North, Range 15 East, in the Milton property as surplus, and set a minimum price of $45,000.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 8 is discussion and possible action on nomination of 2 trustees to the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group Board of Trustees. There's notice of election and attached nomination form.
Mayor,
Yes,
the attachment says that we need to nominate 3 trustees.
3 trustees, okay. Do we have any letters of intent from anybody?
I'd like to make a motion that we table this till the next meeting.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, have a motion and a second to table.
Crone,
Aye.
Alvedras,
March 16th. Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes to table.
Agenda item number 9 is public comments and announcements. Any public comments or announcements? Agenda item number 10 is reports and comments from the city manager and council members. Anybody got anything?
You ready for me?
I'm ready. We're ready.
All right, my first item up, I'm gonna donate part of my time, part of my comment to Mike, who would like to do a brief overview and presentation.
He said brief.
I'll yield my time to Mike Shannon, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. I've been visiting with Larry about my position at Prezi, and first of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for contributing or investing in Prezi. It's an interesting organization, as you all well know. We basically take care of the economic development in the entire Oklahoma Panhandle, southwestern Kansas, southeastern Colorado, and the top tier counties of Texas. And I've been here just a little over a year now. And when I arrived, I needed a tool to work with, basically. And that tool was the demographics of our area. When we had a potential business wanting to locate, and we were called, and some of the questions they asked was how many people you have currently, how big is your trade area and stuff. And so I tried putting one of those together. Well, I got in over my head pretty fast. Through some communication with some other gentlemen that, and ladies and gentlemen that work in economic development, they put me in touch with an individual in a company that performs demographic surveys of a trade area. I've emailed Mr. Mitchell a copy of this survey that we have. I should probably had all of that, and we all can have a copy of it, but it's demographics of the area. Larry, you didn't make any copies by any chance?
I did not. I will email that out to everyone.
Okay,
tomorrow.
or I can tomorrow or nothing like, or
I'll
something
do
like
that.
that, but. And I'm gonna put this up on our webpage, and probably the city could probably do the same thing. We look at Guymon at its trade area, and I've taken it down to a point to where I have a demographics of a 60-mile radius down to a 20-mile radius of our trade area here in Guymon, which affects right here at the city of Guymon. And I found some interesting, I'm just going to touch on it just a little bit. In a 60-minute drive time, our trade area population is right at 82,000 people. That's a lot of people. To me, it is. And I thought that was the most interesting part of it. Another very interesting part of it is that the number of households in the trade area, there's over 28,000 households. So when you start putting numbers like that together to try to attract a business, that tells a lot. The program itself breaks down age groups within the. I'm just going to touch on the 60-minute drive time. From 0 to 13 years of age, there's 17,680 people in that range. Over 50, which includes quite a few of us here, there's 23,977. Workplace employees in the trade area, there's 31,088. In the labor force itself, I'm going to go back to the unemployment rate. We're a little higher than the state of Oklahoma. I think the state of Oklahoma come out today with 4.9. Our numbers show within the 60-minute in our area, it's close to it. It's 5.9, just in our immediate area. Another thing that this report reflects on is that it's called the gap analysis. That's basically the money that's leaving our area like health and personal care stores. Within a 60-minute drive, there's $34 million a year leaving this area. So that tells people in the economic development stages or the city fathers and people like that, we might be looking at why is that much leaving this area? Or do we need to target a CVS or something like that that would, bring those numbers up or something like that? I mean, it'll just target area. It's some information that it's work in progress. We've started Panhandle Telephone. We met with the marketing group, with their marketing group, and they're taking full advantage of the demographics of the entire Oklahoma Panhandle and their service area. And something else about this is updated quarterly. Used to, back in the day, I think Larry will, we used to get one of these a year, basically. Once a year. And a lot of changes in a year, and we get this every quarter. If Larry, what he'll be mailing you is the third quarter reports. Fourth quarter in 2016 should be coming out any day. So I'm curious to see what happens at the last quarter of 2016. So it's just a lot of good numbers that I like to look at. Right now, in the western part of the Panhandle, Boise City is using these numbers to look at luring a truck stop and a hotel around the bypass. They bypass that little town over there. So they're using some of these numbers to approach a truck stop and a hotel possibly. And so it's pretty valuable information. And the city of Guymon, you're probably one of the bigger contributors to PTCI. So I'd recommend, and that's why Larry and I, we've been looking at these numbers for the last 30 days. These numbers are pretty valuable for us to know and to target where we need to go. So with that, if you got questions, I'm always around, available. Go to the website, 651-8500. I'd love to visit, as a lot of you know. Mr. King.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. But thank you for your investment in PTCI. Looking forward to some interesting things to happen this year and the next couple of years. So, any questions?
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Any other reports or comments?
Couple other things. Our police chief was very successful recently in hiring two new police officers. They're going to begin, I think, the first week in March. Next week. Next Monday? Wednesday, March 1st. All right, congratulations.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah, good work. Also, I wanted to hand out a draft that we put together. We promised you at the last meeting that we were going to draft a tree and limb removal disposal policy, and this is a very rough draft. It is just a concept at this point. It sort of breaks new ground. I don't want to give you a lot of the detail because we are still working on it, but fundamentally we're thinking about, rather than trying to work out some sort of a program where we would pick up tree and limb debris at the curb, because of our limited manpower and our equipment, we're really thinking about the idea of paying people to pick up and dispose at the transfer station. We think it's got some value, and we'd like for you to just read through it, jot down notes, tell us that we're crazier than a bed bug, or that you really like it, or whatever you want to say, and then we'll go from here. But this is sort of our first shot out of the box, so to speak, and we'd like for your feedback and suggestions on it. The other couple of things, we are making signs for Old City Hall. I showed the property today, and I also had another realtor stop by the city clerk's office and pick up a copy of the appraisal. So I think there is some interest in the property.
Good.
With that, that's all I've got, Mayor.
Any other reports or comments?
I was asked by a citizen who was responsible for mowing behind the fences on the south and the west side of the Elks Edition, where we're right now surveying, I believe, to figure out exactly where the easements are. And I told him I would try to find out exactly who is responsible for maintaining that area. So,
Is that street right of way, or is that just,
no, it's on the back side.
it's the backside?
Right.
There, Mr. Petty may know this, but what I know is that at one time when they developed that, the Elks kept that and planted the trees to be a sound buffer between the railroad tracks. And I don't know if they ever dedicated that property to the city or if they still own it.
Yeah, it's just gonna depend on how the dedication went in each case. If it's an easement on privately owned property for an alley, then it's the private property owner's responsibility. If the private property owner's lot stops short of the alley, then it's not. So it's kind of a case-by-case basis.
Well, they were concerned because of the fire danger,
Yeah.
so it's something we probably ought to look into.
Do you happen to know how it was maintained last year?
No, I do not.
It hadn't been
It
maintained
hasn't been maintained. Okay,
for a long time.
okay.
Any other public comments now, or any comments or reports? I know I've spent the last few days hauling some limbs and trash out of my yard to the dump, and I've seen a lot of our city employees hauling chip limbs and stuff and trailers of trees out. And until you get out and drive around town, I don't think that anybody understands the magnitude of the amount of tree limbs that are out there. And I want to congratulate and thank the city employees for their hard work in working on cleaning the town up and getting her spruced up. Anything else? Any new business? Not will stand adjourned as the Guymon City Council. Will re-adjourn as the Guymon Utilities Authority. We're done agenda item number 2. Agenda item number 3 is discussion and possible action on approval of invoice number 10618 to Earl's Engineering in the amount of $6,300 for the property survey of the Sunset Wing of the Sunset Village Addition project. And their invoice and the scope of the work this is for the right-of-way work that they're working on over there.
30% completed?
Yes.
Any discussion, questions, motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve payment of invoice number 106-118 to Earl's Engineering in the amount of $6,300.
A second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 4 is discussion and possible action on approval of payment request to guarantee abstract in the amount of $300 for the water well number 35 project. Any questions?
Make a motion that we approve payment to guarantee abstract amount of $300.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second.
King,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Any public comments and announcement? Any new business? We'll stand adjourned as the Guymon Utilities Authority. We'll reconvene as the Guymon Airport Authority. Agenda item number 2 is to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the January 12th, 2017 and June 30th, 2016 meetings.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes in item 2.
A second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 3 is discussion and possible action on approval of the master agreement for professional services for airport improvements and planning projects occurring during federal fiscal years 2017 through 2021 with Garver Engineering. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the master agreement for professional services for the airport improvements, planning projects, item 3.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Any new business? Want to thank Matt and Doug for their hard work today in putting up the public presentation of the comprehensive strategic plan. They'll be around for a while later this evening, but if anybody ever has any questions, they'll be happy to answer them, and they've done a pretty good job. You got leftover cookies back there? Okay. All right, we're adjourned. Thank everybody for coming.